Are we rolling? Yes, we are. What's up, guys? It's your boy McKin the Crane here, and today I'm going to be doing my spoiler-free review of the 2002 movie Spider-Man. So this was this came out when comic book movies hadn't found their grounds yet. I mean, we had a whole bunch of good comic book movies back then. We had X-Men and stuff. We had the Blade movies. We had um Batman. We had some good Batman films. And but a lot of comic book movies just weren't very good back then. And they were looked at as a joke. And but okay, this was one of those movies. This was one of the comic book movies that came out back then that showed everybody that comic book movies aren't a joke and that they should be taken seriously. And they can be really good. They could be really good. Yeah. Anyway, so before this, we had I already said, we had some bad comic book movies, and then we had some great comic book movies. But there had been a whole bunch of so many bad comic book movies that outnumbered the good comic book movies. Like the good comic book movies were, like the Burton Batman movies, X-Men, the Blade movies, I'm not sure if Blade 2 came out before Spider-Man. I don't know. I forgot. We had a few other good comic book movies, first two Superman movies, those were really good. But we also had bad comic book movies like Steel, for example. That was a bad comic book movie. I haven't even seen it, but from what I've seen of it, from the clips I've seen of it, it's horrible. It's awful. Anyway, so this was like a kind of a whole game changer. I mean, X-Men kind of did it first. If you're talking about X-Men, kind of did like what Spider-Man did first, revolutionizing Marvel superhero movies. Cause before X-Men came out, there weren't very good. There weren't very many good superhero movies. I mean, there were the Blade movies, but then we had the crap the crap ones. But the Blade movies are so tonally. Oh, yeah. Actually, we only had the first Blade movie when X-Men first came out. Blade 2 came out in 2002. Why I'm saying that Blade isn't wasn't the whole game changer, if you look at it in that kind of comic book movies, because Blade is so tonally different than Spider-Man and X-Men. Blade is just so flippin' dark compared to Spider-Man and X-Men. So I'm gonna say that X-Men kind of set the path for this. X-Men and Spider-Man were the movies that set the path for modern Marvel movies, if you know what I mean. Anyway, so I love this movie. It's a classic. I love Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man / Peter Parker. I know a lot of people say that he was a perfect Peter Parker, but he wasn't a perfect Spider-Man. I disagree with that. He's not my favorite, actor who played Spider-Man. But I think he does it perfectly anyway. Yeah, I think he's really good in this role. I love just I love Willem Dafoe in this movie too, as Norman Osborn, aka the Green Goblin. Yeah, he was really awesome. He was just, he gave like a very like, over the top performance, and it was just really good. I even liked his costume. I know some people, compared his Green Goblin costume to like, something off of Power Rangers, but I still like it even though I can see where they're coming from. Um anyway, so I just loved everything about this film. The character chemistry is, the chemistry between the characters are great. I even liked, MJ in this movie. Even though, like, MJ's getting a lot of hate nowadays. Well, the actress who portrayed MJ in these movies is getting a lot of hate nowadays. Even though even though she was great, in my opinion, she was. Well, she's not the best MJ ever. Zendaya is way better. Is a way better MJ than whoever this actress is. I can't remember her name. Anyway, so I just really love this movie. The action's great. It's like silly and lighthearted, but it's not corny. It's like silly. It's at a lot of times, but it's not corny. Like, it's never corny. I wouldn't call it corny. This is just a great comic book movie. It's not the best Spider-Man movie in my opinion, but it is one of the best. Anyway, I'm gonna give this movie a 100% out of 100%, which is the equivalent of an A+. By the way, I've seen all of the other Spider-Man movies, so I'm gonna be reviewing them soon too, and eventually ranking them. I think I've already reviewed one Spider-Man movie for this year. Anyway, like, subscribe, join the notification squad. I will return. And tell me down below in the comments what you thought of this movie, if you've seen it.